Okay, so I finally was allowed to broadcast live on on YouTube on this channel. You know, whatever. Okay, so we got sound. We got sound. So that's good. Yeah. So this is like I'm trying to like, you know, I know everybody asks you to like it and share it and whatever and comment and subscribe and all this shit. I don't give a damn about that. You know, let's say that. You know, and yes, today officially we are entering Mercury retrograde, and so it is kind of frustrating. I was gonna meet up a friend, and you know, just like the WhatsApp for some reason was acting out, you know. So the communication was really like whatever. So it didn't happen. So it's frustrating shit, right? And you know, I've seen injustices. Today, I saw two crazy ass injustices. You know, let me show you one. Let me show you one. Yes, because you know, they say that we are like, you know, overreacting. You know, Aries is just free free, what's it called? Oh, fortuitous rage. Fortuitous rage. I noticed this trend happening, you know, since the internet happened. Everybody's so scared of confrontation. The fuck is... Didn't I just put that do not disturb? I guess I'm not. So, oh gosh. I just wanted to show you where yeah, now it's over. Yeah, I only uploaded on one of the Instagrams so far. Part of it, the MTA, the NYPD is targeting the MTA buses over here that cross to the Bronx on Fordham. So you know, I just found that despicable, especially after the pandemic. You know, I found that very disturbing. I found that, like, you know, I mean, if they doing this now, imagine, was that 5 weeks before the election? You know, like a month and days before the election. You know, imagine what they're going to be doing. Yeah, just imagine what they're going to be doing after the election. It's like, we are like so stupid. We always believe that, you know, all their campaign promises, you know, we always like voting for this and that. And, you know, our neighborhoods are worst every day, more expensive. There's more white people, which automatically that means, you know, higher prices everywhere. I really cannot afford to buy shit around here. It's like, literally, I mean, everything is at least 50 cents to $1. You see how many there are? I don't know. I counted like 5. So I'm like, yeah, you cannot stop it. Oh, wait a minute. You can stop it like this. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. So, yeah, I should have like knew that it put it on another folder. And people passing by, and like, and they were all African Americans. The people, they stopped, and they was complaining, come on, it was like, I gotta go. They're like saying, I gotta go. I overheard, and they kept staring at me. I got so angry that I could not even function. This shit was not recording, and they were staring at me. I was like, so probably the other video I was closer. I didn't want to get too close because I know how ratchet they are. The NYPD, the pigs of the NYPD. I mean, like, it's despicable. I mean, like, we're still going through the damn fucking pandemic. Businesses are still closed. Come on, 20% capacity? That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Come on. What they should have shut down was the fast food, the fried chicken. They would have like inundated everything with vegetables. If they really give a damn, they should have said like, guess what? Everybody, like, we're gonna give you cooking classes. You can cook really amazing shit. And everybody, all the restaurants have to be more like, they have to be at least 50% vegan. Have to have like, healthy, not vegan, but healthy shit, not fried, at least not fried, but I don't know, that really sent me, pushed me over the edge, like seeing people passing by, and you could take a picture, just to alert, like, this is not necessary. Really, I mean, most of the people who go in my neighborhood in the Bronx, in these poor areas, they jump the turnstile or whatever they get in, is because they really don't have that kind of money. It's not like when you go to Chelsea or whatever, the village, or the West Village or the East Village. You see all these white people, they just jump in the turnstile just because they want to feel interesting, they want to feel like, oh, we are rebels and we are not going to pay, that's very different, that is absolutely very, very different. When I mean, people like, you say, come on, $2.75. Yes, it's $2.75. That's just one way. That is just one way. And the transfer only lasts you 2 hours. And you have to use the transfer, you have to use it in the opposite direction, right? But anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. That oh my God. Especially now, I mean, I feel like, this is very cold. I mean, we know whites are very cold, I mean, like, as much as you all love them, so you gotta admit that. And I've seen people, ranting about, how, what's going on, sweetie? Huh? You're feeling it? You're feeling the retrogrades? The retrogrades? Yeah, that's why I wanted to talk. That's why I wanted to talk about, there's about 5 planets that been retrograding for a while, including Mars, of course, and but all I see is the focus on on Aries. He sings so cute. That's beautiful. The camera is on. Yeah, I mean, that really that center you. Get a canary in your house. They are so social. They are so social. They like compliments. Okay, now I'm in a good mood. So, anyway, what was I saying? I was saying that you know, I mean, I am tired of you know, inaccurate interpretations, just because these interpretations are coming from, you know, like a long time ago. You know, like you know, well, there's one infamous. That's a horrible one. The the story of Ham, that, you know, he saw his father naked, and that's why Africans are cursed. That's why Black people are cursed. Yeah, you know, especially the ones with very dark skin. You know, I mean, so there is a story I heard from many years ago that Aries is the babies, you know, of the zodiac. And yes, there is some of that. There is some of that because, you know, we have 12 signs, 12 cycles. So you know, with that logic, then Pisces is it's just like you know, like uh, a very very old senior citizen, right? So it gets distorted, and everybody keep putting it like, you know, oh, you know, that Aries is the baby, and you know, I mean, yes, we got a lot of curiosity. That's why, you know, and we are fearless, like a baby. Sometimes, you know, we can go like fuck it. We are just so fed up with so much passivity that we explode. We tend to explode. Come on, come on. It's like, I don't care at this point. I don't give a damn. You know, we are gonna be talking about this, or we're gonna get rid of this. And just shit's been going on forever. And just like you see this injustice, you know, of 5 NYPD police officers targeting, you know, poor people, African Americans, you know, for $2.75. Now they have to pay $150. Oh gosh. Hey Victor, what's going on? Hola. So when are we talking? I was trying to give me the date. No, I cannot talk today right now. I'm live streaming. This is why I wanted us to have another date. I sent you an email. You know, I've texted you. I mean, email you. I mean, I voice messages. You know, I have not been able to reach you for a couple of weeks. So if you can email me the date that you can talk. No, I want a date. Let's make an appointment again. This is not working like this. You know, we have to go back to the appointment. Oh no! I didn't want you to. I didn't expect you to. I thought this is what I thought you was calling me to give me the date. Call me back and give me the date. Whenever you got the date that we're talking, you know, then I know you cannot email me. I know that. That's why I sent you like 5 emails already, and you know, I haven't heard from you. All right. Thank you. You gotta talk when he wants to talk. 2 weeks chasing this guy, and to no avail. You know, voicemail, emails, you know, hey, you know, it's my caseworker. That's a good job. That is a good job. I mean, like, you gotta do is just like, you know, I have suspicions that these caseworkers, they work like once a week. You know, I mean, right now, since this year, since March, they use this excuse, you know, to work from home, and they're like, you know. So anyway, and I couldn't say, you heard it. We are talking right now. I want to talk right now. Yes, you want to talk right now? I've been meaning to talk for 2 weeks. Oh, Aries is out of control. It's because Aries are reckless. And what else they say? They are manly. Aries bitches are manly. What I heard over the years so much bullshit, so much childish behavior from these astrologers, respected astrologers, you know. I mean, I heard one last week. She said, you're going to be perceived even more arrogant than your usual self. They all are like that. I mean, I read the horoscope today, you know, I mean, from a couple of places. I'm not going to give them publicity because they don't deserve it. And the same thing. Oh, you love like you are like, I don't know, these gross generalizations, you know. I mean, don't you have no fucking shame? Don't you have no fucking like, you know, just because you are Libra, just because you are Virgo, just because you are Pisces or whatever the fuck, or Cancers. No, Cancers, I have no complaints from Cancers, you know. I mean, our Cancers are sweethearts. I cannot deal with them, you know, because, you know, literally, I look at them and they start crying. And they start crying. I mean, I'm walking down the street. This is why you think I have to carry these wherever I go. Obsidian with quartz crystals. This was made by Dr. Mfundishi. You know, he's on 125th Street. You know, you can, I forgot what was the address, but you cannot miss it. You can ask for Dr. Mfundishi. And he can recommend you, you know, crystals for whatever you want. He did not recommend me this. This was just because I like obsidian. And then later on, I found out the properties, and I go like, okay, so now I know what I got it. I know what I got it. This is a good protection. This is good protection. Come on, it's like always. I mean, like walking down the street, and these bitches, they're like, they just stare at me like, how dare she? I can almost hear their freaking thoughts in their head. You know, how fucking dare she? I mean, of course, they don't say she, they say he, of course, because they are ratchet, yeah, as that. And speaking of ratchetness, another thing that really shook me, I'm like really shaking still. This happened like half an hour ago, 40 minutes, I don't know. I was crossing, you know, the bridge. I finished crossing the bridge, and I hear this woman. She was walking ahead of me, you know, and she yelled at this African American man. I know why she yelled, you know, but that alone, it shook me. It shook me because she yelled, and she signaled the garbage can. She say, oh no, you know, something like that, like, you know, like Hitler, something like Hitler. These bitches are out of control. I used to go like, oh my God, that's just violence against women. Like, you know, wow, in New York City, you're doing that shit in New York City, you are either suicidal or you are like a really, really bad bitch. I mean, or at least you think you're a really, really bad bitch. I mean, like, come on. Because, you know, all it takes is for a man to lose his temper, one punch. I've seen bitches with broken jaws. I used to be like, oh my God, these men are the worst. Men are like, whatever. You know, I used to be drinking the Kool-Aid too. Now I'm like, I'm I'm telling you this right now. I know it's horrible. I know it's going to be like, but how are you going to be like, no, I mean, it's like, I mean, I wish you would have seen it. I mean, she yells so hard. Here's another one who now want attention. You see, like people, whenever the fuck they want, something, they are like silk in your hands. When they don't want something, it's like they go like, whatever, don't pick up the phone, nothing. I mean, it is just like and this is not just Mercury retrograde. Come on. This is the way we are becoming with the internet. No confrontation, no like whatever. And then I mean, I say we, I mean, I'm hoping that I'm not doing that too. But I see there's this tendency to demonize people who speak up, people who have confidence in themselves, people who, don't give a fuck about you. I mean, in the sense of like, I don't get out of the house and thinking like, like I hear there's a lot of people like that then get out of the house and they're like, I mean, of course, I'm hyper vigilant, but not like to care about their opinion, like whatever. I mean, over here in my building, it's just, I mean, I don't take the elevator. That's for sure. I don't take the elevator. These bitches are ratchet as hell. They stare at you like you're a fucking television set. I mean, it's just, I mean, it is what it is. But to single out, Aries as the cause of the world's problems, it's a blatant lie. And I wish I had it. I mean, I was going to look it up. I once read this article years ago about that myth. When is the most, like, friction, violence, whatever you want to call it in society. And it's always in those signs, the passive aggressive signs, the Libra, the Virgo, when people they want to be pretty, they want to be like Libra. Libra, they always like, oh no, we love beauty, they love beauty, they love everything. I think Cardi B is like a Libra or something like that, but that's impossible to have, sometimes that level of beauty and harmony and whatever bullshit 24/7. So that's when they lose it. That's when they lose it. The control freaks. And the moment that, like, oh shit, you cannot control your immediate environment, they go ballistic on you. But I mean, let's listen to Miss Nadia Shah. I did not want to do it, but I mean, like, I just looked it up because, I'm looking for, like signs in the sky, whatever. But I figure, which is changing my perception. I used to think that there was people like, I mean, Nadia Shah is one of the most professional, the best astrologer I ever heard, I ever seen. I discovered somebody else, I don't remember her name. She's from London. She's a broadcast from London, and she get a lot of, wherever she get it, it's good, but they are very Eurocentric. They're always like talking about the Greek this, the Greek this. And if you are like really a good astrologer, why are you referencing the Greek when the Greek, they stole everything from Africa? In Greece, anybody, there wasn't nobody unless you study in Africa, unless you study in Kemet. Now, that's what the Greeks call it, Egypt. They changed the name to Egypt. They changed the name of everything. And we are so Eurocentric and that is violent. That is real violence, to name entire continents, entire countries, entire nations, entire peoples, just because, they feel like, that's who whites are. They even made up this name Aztec. Nobody called themselves Aztec. I mean, like, Olmec. They're like, oh yeah, the people of the rubber tree. That's their Olmec, but that's not like, they suppressed all our information, so we don't know who we are, and we end up speaking ridiculous, stupid language like this one. That you are like, oh, if you don't spell it properly, if you don't speak properly, then you like, I mean, oh my god. Well, if I am wrong, you can give a thumbs down. Give it the thumbs down, so I know if anybody for whatever reason, anybody get to see this video, which I hope not, because I'm not interested in sharing. I'm interested in like, you know, just expressing myself, talking like this, and I believe that sometimes we find stuff because we're meant to find it. So if anybody find it, it's because probably they're really meant to. Because YouTube don't promote shit like this at all. They suppress it all the time. I know that. I know that for a fact. You'll never get an alert. I mean, you might get one, but then after a while, they know what I talk about. Mm-mm.
It is a massive and powerful astrological week without a doubt. We've got a new moon in Libra, Mercury's going retrograde, and one of the most important peak moments as part of the larger Mars retrograde season that we are in. We are in the midst of rare times as part of a rare year with heightened intensity and a heightened sense of desire on all our part to connect with others, especially with the sun in Libra, the new moon in Libra, and all the ways in which this sun this week is connecting with other power players out there. And yet,
you see, when it comes to Libra, oh my God, they got always, the desire to connect, the social, all the beautiful. And then they get to Aries and, and then it's just like, come on. I mean, I'm tired of this. I mean, all you got to do, I mean, if you're an astrologer, if you're like, whatever, just watch the videos on Aries and you see like, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, like, we can see what you're doing. We can see what you're doing because you don't dare to be like us, because you cannot be like us, because you cannot be us. Then you bash us. You want to tear us down. That's what you're trying to do, unconsciously or consciously. And you need to stop that bullshit. You need to stop that bullshit. This is the second video I do about this shit. I have another channel. I made it. It didn't got no views, but that's okay. That is okay. If you don't get it, like maybe one day when it's the right time, it might surface.
Connecting with others, truly being willing to see another perspective, that can be a little tricky under this sky. And the main reason I see this is because of what is taking place early in the week, right around Monday or Tuesday, depending on where you are on the planet. That is when the sun will stand across the sky from Mars. And as I spoke about last week, Mars right now is as close to the Earth as he is going to be for another 15 years. Already, Mars is especially bright in the sky. His energies are that much more magnified, even with the retrograde. It is the fact that Mars is so close that we are feeling this heightened energy of passion on the one hand, but it's also energy of urgency, of determination. It can be a spiritual warrior, especially while retrograde. However, it takes...
However, yeah, today is Tuesday. Today is the day when Mars, according to this, is the closest to us. And it happened every 15 years. And yes, we feel all restless. We all feel a little like whatever, but it's not like the end of the moon. I mean, I've seen shit, happening throughout the whole world, and it's Mars is not really like, but it is just, they speak to it so categorically, like, they pontificate on this, Mars is like whatever. I feel like that's very simplistic. There's no nuances. There's not, Mars is just a force, and that's it. Is like, even when that can be Taurus, right? The bull in the China store, in the whatever, in the crystal store, but it's us that, I say, we create the chaos. When it's you who create the chaos with your passive aggressive, that you let one go, you let the next one go, another one, you start like piling up, then you feel miserable because you cannot set boundaries. And if you happen to set the boundaries, then you don't even enforce them. Whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? I mean, like, especially nowadays, I mean, like, I feel like, 20 years ago, still you could like have boundaries like that. But today, we are getting hit from all angles. So we might forget a boundary or two. And you don't have to lash out. You just have to be like saying, that's a boundary of mine. I have a boundary, like, whatever. It's just like, and of course, you don't want to talk about that right there and then, but you have to talk about at least, a month later, a year later, you got to talk about, because it's not the same thing just to say no as to what you explain, like, well, no, whatever. Then we don't forget that boundary, right? A lot of times it's not just like no, and then just like, you know, then it come like, maybe that person is not sincere. I don't know.
Conscious intention to work the energy in order to manifest its higher qualities. Because with Mars, of course, the other way that this energy can go, well, especially in the sign of Aries, it has to do with being single-minded, being an adrenaline junkie, being determined to feel something without necessarily being discerning as to what is worth allowing yourself to feel deeply over. There is a sense with this Mars now standing across the sun that they are both magnifying each other's energies in key ways. It is
right, but she don't say where she got this from. Where she got this from? I mean, like yes, we all get the fire. Fire. What it give you is this urgency to move. Uh, you know, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know anything about astrology as a child. So but I was like always very lethargic and stuff because all the energy was like, I didn't know that you had to move, and it's like, and for me, moving was, not a good thing, because my father wanted to force me to work out. So he made me kind of like hate that. So I just wonder, like, they never tell you where they get these assumptions.
Really being discerning as to what is worth allowing yourself to feel deeply over. Feel something is so close that we are feeling this heightened energy of passion on the one week. Mars right now is as close to the Earth as he is going to be for another 15 years. Already, Mars is especially bright in the sky. His energies are that much more magnified, even with the retrograde. It is the fact that Mars is so close that we are feeling this heightened energy of passion on the one hand, but it's also energy of urgency, of determination. It can be a spiritual warrior, especially while retrograde. However, it takes conscious intention to work the energy in order to manifest its higher qualities. Because with Mars, of course, the other way that this energy can go, well, especially in the sign of Aries, it has to do with being single-minded, being an adrenaline junkie, being determined to feel something without necessarily being discerning as to what is worth allowing yourself to feel deeply.
Adrenaline junkie, like, just wanting to feel for the sake of feeling. I mean that's a new one. I never really heard that one. So this is like, it just keep adding and adding, and it don't have to be, like the Mars returning or retrograde of Mars or anything. It's like this is every day. This is every day. You open Aries horoscope, and they just out of the blue. It's just like, like I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I mean, like, I don't know where they get this shit from, for real. I mean, or you're gonna become an adrenaline junkie because Mars, evil Mars, the planet of war. I mean, like, and if you look it up, the wars have been started. Some have had, Mars in certain positions, but some of them don't. So it is not, it's like I said, we have like 5 planets right now in retrograde. I don't know if I mean, we just came out of, we're starting to come out because of this phenomena, whatever, that all the planets are on one side of the galaxy, and on the other side of the galaxy there's no planets. They're all traveling at the same time in one side. We're all traveling in one side. What side? We don't know, because we don't know the universe, right? You eat all the time. This one eat all the time. The other one don't eat all the time. I don't know.
Over. There is a sense with this Mars now standing across the sun that they are both magnifying each other's energies in key ways. It is Mars and the sun that stand across from each other about once every 2 years or so. But this time, as they're doing it, and Mars is retrograde, it adds that much more energy to this moment and to this time. So the sun right now is in this field deeply over. There is a sense with this Mars now standing across the sun that they are both magnifying each other's energies in key ways. It is Mars and the sun that stand across from each other about once every 2 years or so. But this time, as they're doing it, and Mars is retrograde, it adds that much more energy to this moment and to this time. So the sun right now is in the sign of Libra. This, I mean, like, we don't think, any planet retrograding. I don't think
we consider. I mean, there's might be people they do consider it fun, but it's just a little bit frustrating.
This is about partnerships, diplomacy, determined to feel something without necessarily being discerning as to what is worth allowing yourself to feel deeply over. That's its higher qualities, because with Mars, of course,
I mean, it makes sense, you know. I mean, I listened to it like several times. It makes sense, but you know, but I don't know.
course, the other way that this energy can go, well, especially in the sign of Aries, it has to do with being single minded, being an adrenaline junkie, being determined to feel something without
Single-minded, single-minded, adrenaline junkie. I mean, like they don't even, you know, take a break. I mean, these are adjectives that are not necessarily, you know, creative. They are more like destructive. You know, what is the point? There's no really no other words. You know, when it comes to us, for real, there's no other words for us. Single-minded, single-minded. I mean, like, you know, I mean, it is ridiculous. But you know, I read sometimes because, you know, like when I have been interested in a guy or something, I read some other people's horoscopes, and you know, I've never seen them being so harsh like they are with us. I just never have. You know, it's just it's wild.
necessarily being discerning as to what is worth allowing yourself to feel deeply over. There is a sense with this Mars now standing across the sun that they are both magnifying each other's energies in key ways. It is Mars and the sun that stand across from each other about once every 2 years or so. But this time, as they're doing it, and Mars is retrograde, it adds that much more energy to this moment and to this time. So the sun right now is in the sign of Libra. This is about partnerships, diplomacy. It is about being willing to see various sides of a situation. The energy of Libra itself can be very gracious. That is part of taking others' perspectives into consideration or just taking other people into consideration. Now imagine that this sense of how it is that we should be with.
Don't we all want to be Libra? It's perfect. Libra is the perfect sign. You know, trust me, I met a lot of Libras that they're like insane in the main brain.
Each other personally and more globally, perhaps, and have that stand in contrast to the energy of Aries. The sign of Aries, representing the very first sign of the zodiac, speaks to our survival instinct, our first breath, and that development stage that we all go through, right? As we go through life, we enter different development stages. This is a well-recognized psychological theory, and there are different ways that it's been articulated, but in general, it is accepted that in the very beginning of life, very often a child, a baby, believes itself to be the center of the universe. There's a strong focus on self. And then slowly one's awareness grows to realize that, okay, maybe I'm not the center of the universe. And then we enter the terrible twos, right? As they say. I've seen a little bit of this. I haven't seen it so up close and personal, but it's perfectly natural. But once we move to partnership, that equal give and take, right? That willingness to see life from another's perspective,
Thank you.
that genuine sense of sharing, these are markers of maturity. And they are also markers of adulthood when it is that we can genuinely relate to others. So, what happens when the needs and the desire of the self?
I mean, this is like, you know, it's just that I have encountered people that they like, you know, they're just so scared of Aries, you know, that, you know, I mean, like you miss opportunities with this kind of reckless talk. You know what I mean? It's not just that, you know, and I've been thinking about that because, you know, I messaged her and, you know, once, and of course she erased it because she is like really, really allergic to confrontation. Miss Nadia. She don't want, like, and she said it like on her last video before this one. I practically watch all her videos, every week. Uh, because you just want. I mean, she's amazing. Don't get me wrong, she's amazing, but she's always preaching about queer culture, whatever. She thinks like gender is fluid, that gender is like, and I say like, okay, show me the studies, show me the evidence. She said like, oh no, in this time we know we comprehend gender a lot better than before. Where they come out with this shit? I mean, like, for real, they have no studies, they have nothing, but they say gender is not a dichotomy. I mean, and meanwhile, our ancestors, we know, I mean, like, you see like the principles of Ma'at, or like in the Americas, in Mexico, like you see the Toltecayotl, and they all talk about a duality, and you know and the key, which is the key of life, is men and women. Men and women. That's what the Ankh uh, represent. We have the Ankh, the womb, and then we have the the phallus, and we have the across. That's the descendants, right? The so-called children, which is you. Which is you. I mean, like, that's the way we that's what eternity is. That is what eternity is. In everywhere, in every culture, everybody understood that our ancestors, they come back, and a lot of times, they knew who was going to be born, from the womb. They knew, oh yeah, that's your great grand uncle or your great aunt. She's coming back, and we got to help her out this time, that to accomplish her mission. And that's how it is. This is why mixing races is not good. It's not just because it's like, oh, you don't, whatever. No, mixing races is the recipe for disaster. It's like, we are coming back, most likely. Most likely. I mean, especially if you had anybody you care for, because we want to see our people win. Nobody like your people, your ancestors. They want to see you victorious. They want to see you do well. They want to see you, and they knew, the whites, they knew this. This is why they like destroyed everything, and like, oh yeah, they don't know. And they took spirituality and imposed religion. Relegare, that's where it comes from. Latin, the word relegare, to bind. It's a binding. Not spirituality. Spirituality, it's boundless. So I mean, I'm like, what's it called?